for coming out for this live. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is the use of recreational drugs. And I'm going to list pretty much the top 10, and I'll leave the number one for the last one. So, what is the real problem with recreational drugs? Well, recreational drugs that are legal, well, there's not much problem getting them. When they're illegal, you can still get them, and there's a risky behavior. There is some edginess to it, and that adds to the thrill of getting those dopamine and endorphins jacked up in you so that you can get that edginess of life. Now, reality is that when recreational drugs are used in total moderation, not much will happen with your health. Not much will happen with your performance in the bedroom. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, when we talk about excess, that's really what we need to be focusing on. Excess means that you put it as a priority. It is the center focus of your life. You want to make sure that when you go away, you have it. When you come in, you have it. You want to make sure that you're never out of it, and you put it as a priority above other relationships. And you put it above even your work. So, where I'm going with this is let's just jump into those recreational drugs. First, if we're going to talk about acid or psychotropics, or not psychotropics, psychedelics, and that includes mushrooms. And what happens is that your brain fires so many dopamine, and that is so jazzed out. Well, that's a great feeling. I mean, that is your heroin. Dopamine is higher on the scale of causing a person to starve. They did a study with rats where they gave a charge to the dopamine versus heroin, and the rats basically starved because they kept hitting the button with the dopamine, not the button for food. So with acid, what happens is that your brain basically is overstimulated, and you can't focus. It's totally distracted. And then what happens is that your sex drive actually tanks. Well, we don't want that to happen, especially if you're going to be going out into the bedroom. The next one, amphetamines and methamphetamines. That also increases the dopamine firings. Yeah, it increases your sexuality and drive. Yeah, it fires you up, gets you ready, but it also causes you to lose focus, get distracted very easily. And the thing about it is that you're building up a tolerance over time. As you build up a tolerance, you're spending more money. You are also using more in order to get that same high, and becomes addictive. So we also need to talk about things like Xanax. Well, Xanax basically takes the edge off of life. It helps mellow you out. Well, it decreases your inhibitions, which means that you might be more prone to have a riskier behavior in the bedroom and riskier behaviors with partners. Well, again, it builds a tolerance. You're not going to get the same rush after a period of years, period of time. It just depends on you. Then let's talk about that marijuana. Yeah. Did I ever try it? Yeah. I never inhaled. So I feel that it increases your sexuality and sexual drive, decreases your inhibitions, and increases your risky behaviors. The reality of it is that you got to choose the right kind of marijuana. There are types that hype you up. There are types that put you to sleep. There are types that will put you into a comatose. There again, you're going to be building some tolerance, and smoking a lot of marijuana is just like having nicotine and some of the other drugs in your body, and it's just not going to function real well. And then we have alkaline nitrates. That is what we call huffing. And yeah, it increases your sexuality and your sex drive, and it gives you a rush, and you're on fire. But again, builds tolerance, and then over a period of time, you got to do more and more in order to get that same high. And then that goes down that slippery slope of addiction. All right, one of a good, addiction one is Oxycontin. Well, shoot, it just lays you so far back you don't have a sexual desire. You have a tendency to be more distracted. Then you have that building of a tolerance. Your body is an amazing thing that it builds tolerance to these drugs because they shouldn't be in your body. Then we talk about not the first top most addictive drug, and that's tobacco, nicotine. Well, nicotine hypes you up, yeah, but it decreases your blood circulation. Decreased blood circulation in the bedroom is not a good thing. The reason why is you need blood flow in order to get those organs moving, and that way you're going to be performing in the bedroom. One of the other things is that it increases your heart rate, increases your blood pressure. It does that by vasorestriction. All right, let's talk about the number one. Alcohol in lower amounts decreases your inhibitions, causes you to have riskier behaviors. Reality is that if you have over 6 ounces in an hour, you ain't going to be able to have a sexual encounter. Or better yet, you may have a sexual encounter, but you won't remember it. Where I'm going with all of these is that moderation. You got to be moderate, right? Abuse of any of these drugs is going to send you into a state of non-performance. All right, if your excess is that you can't leave home without it, yeah, you're addicted. And you need to do something about that before you can do something about your health issues, because you're always going to be distracted. You're not going to be able to perform. So what are some of the symptoms that these drugs have taken over? Well, the main member there will not work. You've got risky behaviors, not only with a current partner, but with other partners. And then there's that always famous one, it's a gateway to other drugs. The only way that I actually believe that last statement is that if you have an addictive behavior, if you do, yeah, you're going to experiment. But let me tell you, I understand that nicotine and heroin are extremely addictive. So I don't go there. Won't go there. All right? So let's talk about the cure. You need to do prevention. You need to know your personality. You need to know your tolerance. Your body is going to tell you what is going on. Your mind is the one that says you need these drugs. Your body is the one that says, nope, we don't need them. The other part about it is that the use of these drugs in moderation and over time is going to kill you a lot faster than exercise, because you're going to eat more. You're going to eat less. You're going to destabilize the normal body functions. Bottom line, the cure, you want a cure, don't do them, stop doing them. Find another thrill. Exercise. A personal relationship. There's plenty of things to do out here. One of the things I would suggest, that if you do have an addictive personality and you are addicted, that needs to go. You need to find help. Even if you can, there is a, let's see, in alcohol, there's a functioning alcoholic. Yeah, that's great, but let me tell you, you're going to have pancreatic problems, you're going to have liver problems, and it's going to decrease your health. And if you care about the people that are surrounding you, then you might not want to do that. The other part about it is that each one of these drugs that I've just described happens to have side effects. And those side effects will be the one that shortens your life, shortens your performance, shortens your love life, and you're not going to be the fun person that you once were. Hey, I know that I have triggered some of you folks out there, so let's talk about prevention is the real solution. And more important, go ahead, write your comments down there, and also let's start talking about what it would be like to have great health. What would it be like to experience no back pain, no little aches and creaks? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Comment. I love to talk to you.